National Finals track that some of the pilots have ran last week at Brevard Multi-Road.
Well, the track is kind of serpentine. Got a lot of, moving left, right, around flags. There's a power loop, which is new to me on a course, so that's kind of fun.
This one, smaller and tighter, was made angrier by a whole lot of wind.
Wind is there, man. You notice it. It's definitely pushing you down the back straight towards the split S and the power loop gate, so it's making that pretty interesting.
It was the power loop gate and the split S giving pilots the most difficulty.
Not anybody doing the power loop, though. Everybody's kind of playing it safe, not risking going upside down.
In the end, 4 laps became average, with top pilots pushing 5 and 6 laps per heat. The top spot was earned by Sonny FPV, who had already qualified.
This man is doing something out of the ordinary.
Just trying to go faster every time.
The top 5 qualifiers were Josh Slager,
Atmospheric Adventures, Abomination. Get you some.
Dustin Flip Mode Gower,
I'd like to send a shout out to my garage, the workshop. I got a bunch of guys in there to help me out. Me, myself, and I. We be in there all the time.
Harold Mad Dust Pantaleon,
Tough day today. I got hit 3 times in some heats, but I was able to put it down.
Kevin Wreck Shop Newman,
I put in 3 good solid runs, and I finally got my ticket to the big show.
and David Prime Garcia.
5 of us qualified. By the skin of our teeth, it was amazing.
All 5 coming from outside chapters and stealing spots from the locals.
All the Miami guys did well today, and we're in, baby.
And the Region 2B final will be coming up in June. As for your region, check back here on MultiGP News or multigp.com for all your regional series updates. It'll be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun, that track. I'm excited to run it. And coming up after the break, we're crossing borders to check out on a MultiGP chapter in Mexico and see what they've got planned for Cinco de Mayo.
Plus, a well-known editor is facing a judge. But why did it take months before his actual arrest? An exclusive interview you don't want to miss. Please stick around. Cinco de Mayo around the corner, we wanted to check in with some of our MultiGP chapters in Mexico to see what they're up to.
I was able to interview some of the pilots there and see what they have planned in the upcoming months, plus what preparations are in effect for the Mexican holiday.
About 2 weeks ago, we did an exhibition in a stadium in a game in a professional game of soccer. We had more than 50,000 spectators.
MultiGP chapters from all around Mexico have their hands full, to say the least, as they gear up for several races in the upcoming months. Rafael Cabanas, better known as Fayo, is one of the founders of the MultiGP chapter Formula X Squad in the northern region of the country.
I'm one of the founders of Formula Squad in Mexico. We are a team maybe of 10 guys that created this chapter in Mexico. Maybe I am the face of Formula Squad.
The first race hosted by Formula X Squad was a success thanks to the easy process of creating a chapter on MultiGP.
We created this league of this chapter with MultiGP because I like the way of MultiGP is doing the things. We wanted to create something new in Mexico, and we launched Lightpad. Lightpad is similar to Light Tracks. We do night race, and we had our first race in November 2016.
And moving on to the central region of Mexico, MultiGP chapter Mexican Rotor Mafia has up to 20 FPV pilots on their league, and they're hoping to recruit many more.
We have Facebook. We got a lot of newcomers and people get introduced into this FPV whole racing squad team, and they get in touch with us. We also have talks in universities from time to time, or in conferences, tech conferences teenagers are trying to come up. The whole price of it, kind of is a problem. Not a problem, but a little challenge that has to be overcome. But since everything's kind of getting cheaper, and also from the whole spare parts, the whole crew starts having laying around, we're trying to build ready to fly quads for people that we know don't have the whole ability to buy the equipment.
Angela Jaquez, who is one of the Mexican Rotor Mafia organizers, works endlessly to coordinate various events, not only in Mexico, but all over Latin America.
Right now, we are doing the National Series 2017, and it's a bunch of local races going around the country, and we're trying to have a national leaderboard. So this is the first time that somebody has done this in the country, which is having all pilots test themselves against others with the same format.
And what races are the pilots of Mexico preparing for?
This series, the 2017, it's based on multi-GP system, and we're racing that in the format of 2 minutes, as many laps as you can do to take out the fastest lap, and from there we make a leaderboard national. I'm going to go to Los Angeles in 2 weeks for a qualifying.
And track designs on the last ground, since we started doing that, and been flying them. Actually, a lot of people are flying those right now in the last ground list, so they're practicing for the qualifiers we're gonna have in the US. So it's a good thing, and we'll be there. We'll be over there.
As for Cinco de Mayo, the Mexican Rotor chapter has something special planned for Friday.
I told the guys that we should do something for Cinco de Mayo, and they're like, yeah, we should definitely do that. So probably, just race and do shots or something.
And next week, we'll introduce you to some of the mothers of FPV, who are the true definition of a great cheerleader. Hear why they say encouraging their kids to compete in drone racing is a good thing. Now, it's a story that's been making its rounds on the internet. What sent this well-known editor behind bars?
Multi-GP news reporter Kalara Maynade has the exclusive interview with Alex Edit, who reveals his side of the story.
I don't really know why this is happening. I don't think I've done anything wrong, but we'll see. We'll see.
It's an arrest that has not only grabbed the attention of the FPV community, but it's caught these 3 pilots by surprise. Pro freestyle pilot Mr. Steele, Alex Rodriguez, better known as Alex Edit, and another friend finding themselves in a tough situation last month after having to turn themselves into authorities in Atlanta.
Pretty much, we were at an area that was open. There was a gate that was open. There were people inside. We went, Steele, John and I, we went and we flew in that area. It seemed fine to me. It seemed fine to the guys.
There was no trespassing signs around, but at the same time, I have been there before multiple times for events, so I know that there are people allowed in there, and the doors were wide open on the side of the place. It's not like we hopped the fence or jumped anything to get in there or anything like that.
The trio, who have years of FPV experience under their belt, had been flying drones in an area they say was suitable without putting the public in harm's way. Mr. Steele later posting that video on social media, but was surprised when authorities reached out to him nearly 6 months after the post.
So anyways, posting that video, then someone recently complained to the FAA about my flying in cities and stuff. And they filed a formal complaint and gave the FAA an email with a bunch of my video links and my personal information and my name and email and all this stuff. And the FAA contacted me and was like, yeah, we want to have a meeting with you because we don't know if what you're doing is complying with the regulations. And then I got a call the following week from a random lieutenant guy that was just asking for my name and my address and stuff just out of the blue. And he was apparently with the state of Georgia, and they were filing warrants for the 3 of us to be arrested. And the guy was like, yeah, you need to come down to the office or the station right now and turn yourself in. and we'll put you in the jail for a couple days.
Getting booked into jail is the last thing any pilot wants to experience. And for Alex, it was the moment when reality hit him hard.
I mean, I can't. It's happening. While it's happening, you think, what did I do to be here? But we just dealt with it. We it wasn't. We just dealt with it.
I have a lot of fans, and I have a lot of people that are jealous, and I have a lot of people that hate on what I do. So it's not really that out of the blue for somebody to. I get hate comments all the time, so it's not out of the blue for someone to do something like that. I don't think.
Right.
Especially with as many people that I have following.
Damn, I
me,
got the best girlfriend ever, y'all.
Out to get me in some way, shape, or form. Maybe I wronged them by not answering an email, or I don't know.
Despite the difficult circumstances these pilots are facing, they still try to look at the situation in a positive light.
I'm trying to make something positive out of it. I don't know how to get a positive angle on this, but I know that's what I think I need to do, and so that way I don't stress myself so much about it. There's a positive. Everything that happens to you has something positive. And I don't know what it is for me yet in this particular case, but I guess I'll find out at some point.
With this being Mr. Steele and Alex's first drone-related charge, the uncertainty of the situation has one worried and the other confident they will prevail.
I don't know how to feel anymore. I'm kind of numb. I don't really I don't really know why this is happening.
It would have been a little different if we weren't flying drones. I mean, at no point in time was there ever mention of us doing anything wrong as far as drones were concerned.
Preparing themselves for the tough grind ahead is something they've accepted. But what would they tell other fellow drone pilots who may find themselves in a similar situation?
Yeah, man, just keep flying. Keep doing what you love. I mean, if we can't do what we love, what's the point? So just don't break the law. Don't break laws. Don't break rules. Be respectful of other people's property and space, and fly. That's all I can say.
Now, if you see news happening in the FPV world and would like us to know, please email your photos or videos to news@multigp.com.
And more from Mexico after the break. We're going south of the border for an FPV fiesta.
It's piñata time in our Crash of the Week. Stick around.
Cellular antenna pushed in. See this connector.
Ultimate performance.
You can fuck it up.
Ultimate team gear.
Please.
Get yours today.
And this week we celebrate the Mexican holiday of Cinco de Mayo.
And what a better way to honor our southern neighbors than by crashing a drone into a piñata. Crash del Dia, sponsored by...
No, I accidentally closed it out. I'm gonna kill myself. You fucking kidding me. Please go back to the time I had it on. Please. I tried to click on the tab, not close it out. You piece of shit. Why is that so tight? I'm gonna stick it right there. Probably watch that part. Oh, it's 89% uploaded. That's my video for today.
Now, it's a story that's been making its rounds on the internet. What sent this well-known editor behind bars?
Further.
MultiGP news reporter Kalara Maynade has exclusive interview.
I'm trying to make something positive out of it. I don't know how to get a positive angle on this, but I know that's what I think I need to do. And so that way I don't stress myself so much about it. There's a positive. Everything that happens to you has something positive. And I don't know what it is for me yet in this particular case, but I guess I'll find out at some point.
With this being Mr. Steele and Alex's first drone-related charge, the uncertainty of the situation has one worried and the other confident they will prevail.
I don't know how to feel anymore. I'm kind of numb. I don't really understand. I don't really know when this is happening.
It would have been a little different if we weren't flying drones. I mean, at no point in time was there ever mention of us doing anything wrong as far as drones were concerned.
Preparing themselves for the tough grind ahead is something they've accepted. But what would they tell other fellow drone pilots who may find themselves in a similar situation?
Yeah, man, just keep flying, keep doing what you love. I mean, if we can't do what we love, what's the point?
Bitch, go in.
You know, so just don't break the law. Don't break laws. Don't break rules. Be respectful of other people's property and space, and
okay,
fly. That's all I can say.
Now, if you see news happening in the FPV world and would like us to know, please email your photos or videos to news@multigp.com.
And more from Mexico after the break. We're going south of the border for an FPV fiesta.
It's Pinata time in our Crash of the Week. Stick around.
Comfort, style, ultimate performance, ultimate team gear. Get yours today.
And this week we celebrate the Mexican holiday of Cinco de Mayo.
Boom.
What a better way to honor our southern neighbors than by crashing a drone into a piñata.
Alana,
Crash
are
del
you
Dia,
watching?
sponsored by Atmospheric
Hello.
Adventures.
Hello.
And that's all the time we have here for this episode of MultiGP News. If you have an event, story, or product you'd like to be featured on an upcoming episode, please reach out to us at news@multigp.com.
Also, we're aiming to reach 10K
Well,
subscribers
charge.
by the end of the year, so please remember to like, share, and subscribe for your chance to win some
You got
cash and prizes.
18% battery.
See you next week on MultiGP News. Thanks for watching. I'm Hector Puente.
And I'm Frank Realize Mayday. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
If you like this video, press the like button below, and please don't forget to
Oh,
subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in being showcased in the next episode of MultiGP News, please contact us at
Don't
news@multigp.com.
drag on the screen. Oh, I forgot my password to this, right? Oh, digitizer cable is not in, so can't touch anything. Hello? Shit. No, stop. Stop it. Okay. Oh, I forgot about that. Shitty digitizer connector. No. Fucking bullshit, dude.
There is a break in the construction outside of my house, and I will do a Q&A Friday for you guys right now. So let's get started. First question is from Glass Castle. Hey, Steel, technical question. Active braking, do you use it? If not, why? What type of flying would you recommend it for? Thanks for the response and continued inspiration. So, now there's beeping, but I will continue to answer this question. So active braking, it's something that's pretty much naturally in all ESCs that are geared towards mini quads these days. So you're not really going to be able to find an ESC without active braking. What active braking does is it slows the motor down from a higher position to a lower position in throttle range. So if you go to a high throttle position on your stick, on your controller, and then you go down to a lower position, typically what would have happened before active braking is the motor would have slowed down gradually using the drag of the motor and the drag of the prop and the inertia of the motor. It would have just slowed down until it got to that point and then would have stayed there or whatever happened. But since we move the throttle so much in a mini quad to maintain altitude and do all these tricks and stuff, it was kind of imperative that it actually forced the motor to the position that we went to. So if we went from 100% to 50%, we wanted it to force it as quickly as possible from 100% to 50% instead of letting it lag and get there over time, which is not that much time, but it is enough time to notice a difference. And I guess before active braking, the quads were floatier because you would go up and then you try to come back down and it would be like, ooh, and like go. It's not that big of a deal, but it is definitely faster and it makes the quad more responsive and more predictable. So that is what active braking is and where it came from and why we use it. And you're not going to be able to use mini quad geared ESC without active braking. So yeah, I use it all the time because it's there. It's on KISS ESCs. It's on every ESC that I'm aware of. So let's go to the next question. I hope that answered your question, Mr. Glasscastle. Robert Williams, this is Q&A Friday. What stardom will Quad Pilots racers hit in the next 5 years? What is it going to look like? You and Rotor Riot guys, etc., are clearly the first fledgling stars in the industry. What is the future state of the stars in the sport? Keep up the great work broadcasting, continue to inspire an army of newcomers. So, as far as stars and legends and stuff coming out in the next 5 years, 5 years is a long time for this industry. It's definitely come a leaps and bounds in the last 2 years. I would say even the last year. We've kind of hit a plateau in the last 6 months or so as far as technology is concerned. We're just kind of flailing around, making minimal increment like performance increases here and there, but really the battery technology is what's slowing us down right now. The battery technology needs to get more practical as far as lighter weight and more power output, and until that happens,
that is
we're going to be kind of stuck.
High
but
quality,
that, again, is my personal opinion.
Perfectly working screen right
as far as
here.
a mainstream sport, pushing this into
Look how
mainstream,
good
like NASCAR,
quality that is.
there are a lot of people trying to do it. I don't know if it will actually happen.
Look at that.
But I definitely
It's
think it
amazing
will
quality.
maintain its community-esque,
Indeed.
very niche,
If I could swap
fun,
these digitizers.
like loving
Not
social
digitize.
network that we have going on right now. It would definitely maintain that kind of
No, we can't swap
mentality
anything.
where
The
people
whole
are
thing's
going
on
out
here,
saying, hey,
so-
like, I do this because I love it. I do it
What am I
because I have a social network revolved around
What
this
is
hobby,
this?
which is how all hobbies
This is a
start.
5S
Not all
screen.
hobbies
It's
go
on here.
mainstream. And I think that's part of why I like this is it's not necessarily mainstream. If it went
Yeah.
mainstream, I might not
Okay.
like it as much. So as far as the
Yeah,
next
you don't
5 years,
even recognize
no idea. As far as the next year, still no idea. As far as like legends go, I know that Carlos and Sharpoo's name will always be a legend in the FPV community, regardless of what happens in the next 5 years. So, that being said, I hope that answered your
Whatever.
questions. I don't know if I did. This is the next one. It
Comes up battery
says
again.
Q&A. You mentioned
Don't they
this is
have
from
another one
Jax Wild. He says in your Q&A, or for your Q&A, hey Steele, you mentioned in the evading police in the Ninja Drone video that you've been working on a lower KV motor that would be good for 6-inch setups. When can we expect to see these come out on the market, and will they be the same color scheme as the Rotor Riot Butter Quad? So no, they won't be the same color scheme as the Rotor Riot Butter Quad that I'm aware of, because Rotor Riot Butter Quad and me having working with TBS making motors is not the same thing. But at the same time, maybe I work with TBS and Rotor Riot as a collaborative thing, and we'll come out with a 6-inch motor. I'm not 100% sure. But as far as keeping this short, I have been working on a 6-inch motor. There's been some prototypes. I haven't tested them in probably 3 or 4 months because I was doing the 6-inch testing when I was doing the 5-inch testing for the motor that's currently out, which is the Mr. Steele 2306 2345 kV that's geared towards 5-inch props. But I will say that you can add an extra winding on that motor, and I have tried it. We changed the magnets out, and we were gearing it towards a 6-inch prop, which is the same stator 2306, and it was a little bit lower kV, around 2,000, 2,100 kV. I think we even tried 2,200, and all of that stuff was looking really good as far as 6-inch. But I just wanted to focus on one thing, so I went with the 5-inch motor first, and eventually the 6-inch motor will come out. I can't say when it will come out, but I can guarantee you it will probably be before. I know that's a long time, but I don't want to make any promises that I can't keep. This next question is from King Sambo, and he says, nice pad. How long have you had that bed frame? So my red bed frame that I showed you in my little Q&A walkthrough last week, I've had that thing for like 25 years. So yeah, a long time. I probably need to get a new one, but you know, it works. Whatever. I can store stuff under my bed. That's cool. This is from Matt Viverett. I don't know if I pronounced your name right, so I'm sorry if I didn't. Can you share some more Can you share some more about the complaint? Oh my God! Wow, I can't read. Can you share more about the complaint and the FAA meeting? I would be interested to know how they handled complaints. I was under the impression that being a hobbyist was actually quote unquote, you wouldn't think it less restrictive than a 107 at this point in time because the FAA is still trying to decide how to regulate hobbyists. Until they do, it's a gray area, whereas the 107 commercial purposes, the lines have been drawn. Is that inconsistent with your understanding? Congrats on the new apartment. So, Matt, that is pretty consistent with what I was under the impression of until I went and had the meeting with the FAA. So, as far as complaints are concerned, if someone files a formal complaint against you as a person or as a video that you've put up, then the FAA has to, by law, investigate that video or that person. So, depending on the offense, whatever they're claiming you've done wrong or whatever they're claiming you did, they have to investigate it. And that, instead of like immediately just sending you to court and prosecuting you, they have a pretty cool way of going about it where they actually will go out and try to get in touch with you and try to have a meeting with you, and they'll talk to you about maybe what you've done wrong or what you can change to prevent what you've done wrong from being brought up again. So they have to investigate it in some way, shape, or form. So they got in touch with me as in like the Atlanta FSDO, all these guys that are working there as far as the FAA is concerned, and the National Airspace Safety Program here in Atlanta area. They got together, the top 6 guys, and I went in and had a meeting with them. And they, honestly, I just talked to them about drones for an hour or so. I talked to them about what I do. I talked to them about what kind of drones I'm flying. I'm talking about the limitations. Like, they didn't realize that you can only fly these things for like 1.5 to 3 minutes. They didn't realize the range limitations that you have, and they definitely were very welcoming for all of this information. So it's cool that they're willing to work with you, and they are willing to work with people that are promoting the hobby in any way, shape, or form. Obviously, if it's like flying, I don't want to say what I was thinking just in my head. You're not flying at airports and stuff like that. You're not doing stuff that is dangerous. You're trying to maintain a safe way to fly these things. But I will say that as a hobbyist, you are actually you have a lot more limitations, and I can't go into all the details right now because it would take forever, but I might be able to do a video, me and Stingy or something, we might do that on a Road to Riot, where we talk about what hobbyists do versus what you can do with a Part 107. Basically, with a Part 107, just in a nutshell, you can essentially do pretty much whatever you want with a waiver. If you can't do it without a waiver, then yeah, you're probably not going to be able to do it anyways. But for the most part, you can do it because you're being paid to do it, and you have that experience, or you've taken the classes and you know what to do to make these things safe. Whereas a hobbyist, they don't know that you know these things, so they're a little more restrictive as far as that is concerned. Also, if you're doing anything professionally, if you're making YouTube videos, that is considered being a professional hobbyist. So these guys that are making videos out there that do not have a Part 107, that are generating income or making money off this stuff on YouTube, are technically breaking the law. I don't want to go into any details as far as who is doing that and who is not, but just letting you guys know, if you do get a complaint, you don't have your Part 107, and you're making money off this stuff either through sponsorships or through YouTube, then you're technically going to be breaking the law, and they can potentially do stuff for you or make you not have a good day. This is from the Engineering Cooper. He says, Q&A, have you ever played paintball? Yes, I played paintball a long time ago, like pump action guns. It was fun, but I don't know if I would do it again, because I don't want to get shot with a paintball gun. This is from David Axio. I don't know. He said, questions. What was your parents' reaction to when I moved out? I think they're a little in shock, but whatever. We've been there for a long time. I'm an only child, and I've traveled a lot, so I wasn't necessarily home all the time when I was at home. That was kind of the reason I didn't move out, is because I was traveling so much. There was really no point in me spending money on rent when I was traveling so much. So yeah, that's been the last 3 years of my life, has been traveling and doing stuff and not being home. And I just decided I needed to move out recently, and it was all because of new financial areas. I've gotten into a place where I've made enough money with either not necessarily YouTube, but through all of my things to do in a hobby, that I could live on my own and make things a reality as far as this as a career. It says, what's the hardest thing about being a YouTuber / drone pilot? Who helped you the most get along the way, and how did they help you? Wow, this is going to be a long question. I'm going to try to keep this short.
Please you
Hardest thing about being a YouTuber and a drone pilot. Hardest
Oh,
thing about
that's my
being a
old
drone
wizard.
pilot and a YouTuber is the fact that everyone wants to always see drone footage. And
That
drone
thing
footage is
no
cool,
throttle.
but to push the
Like,
limits and
at
bring
all.
something interesting to the table every single day, especially consistently, like 2 to 3 days a week, that's pretty difficult to do. So that is the most challenging thing, coming up with new material to keep people interested. And then as far as who has helped me along the way, I think honestly just the friendships I've made through the industry, through like Stinger Swarm, Kevin, Kevin, all the Rotor Riot guys, Tommy,
It's
Chad,
Claude
Carlos,
Jones.
Chad Capper, all of these people that have helped me just based on being involved and being around all this stuff, mini quads and whatnot. It says the next question is, where do you see yourself in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, both career, personal growth, inspiration, interest? Wow, a year, I have no freaking idea. 5 years, I really have no freaking idea. 10 years, I hope I'm still alive. I probably will be, but I have no idea. I'm sorry, I don't have any answers for that. Let's go. What is this? Spooner C. I think I've watched all your videos, and I have one question right now. Do you or do you not use Crest white strips? I have used them in the past. I don't now. My teeth are just kind of naturally white from brushing them, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. And let's see. Let's go to the next one. Okay, Objectively Yiski says, let's see a quad base jumping squirrel wing suit video. I definitely want to do that. I've been kind of thinking about trying that with someone else. However, the envelope of speed for a wingsuit is like pretty high, and a mini quad can only do so much speed, so it might have to be something we do with a wing, but I will try my best to make that happen. I've got some pretty good connections in the wingsuiting base jumping area. Might do something really cool with base jumping. So now let's go to one of these other guys. Sorry, I'm like having trouble finding ones. I went through them, but I'm slowing down, and I'm sorry. Oh, it's already 13 minutes. Let's actually do one more, and then we'll call it a day. Okay, Dear Steel, have you ever injured yourself through flying, getting cut by propellers? So yes, I have injured myself, and it was pretty bad, actually. I'll tell you a little quick story. I was trying to tune a Blackout 330, like right when they came out. This was like right when the Blackout, people thought that running 2208 2000 kV motors on 6x4.5 props on a larger quad running a 2200 milliamp 4-cell, which was a 330 millimeter quad that had a GoPro cage, and it was like going to be the next level shit. That was like the next best thing. However, ESCs were massive at the time, and it was really difficult to put ESCs underneath in this little tray that they built for this particular quadcopter. So I went and bought some ESCs that I thought would work. They were Castle Creations 25 amps, specifically made for quadcopters, and I put them on the quad. At the time, loop time and all of these things, as far as how quickly the ESC could respond to the flight controller's inputs, were very important. But little did I know that that was